Hello guys, and welcome to the beautiful Hoi An. I have been looking forward to this place ever since I arrived in Vietnam because everyone says it's one of their favorite places in the country. I arrived here via the Hoi An pass. I did a one-day motorbike adventure which was so beautiful, and I'll probably add it to the video of Hue, which will have gone up before this video. So definitely check it out if you want to see that. Today I am exploring the city after having a few drinks in the bar street yesterday after arriving, and that was a lot of fun. There is so much street food as well, which y'all know I love. And now I am on my way to make a lantern. I have come to Lynn, who has a lantern workshop, and she is making me choose between all these beautiful fabrics to put around the lantern. And there's so many options, honestly, all the different colors and patterns. Let me know which kind of color you would go for, but I am going with a kind of blue because I know that it'll be in the house of either my parents or my grandparents, so they will obviously have to love it as well since I don't have a home of my own. I could choose either one or the other shape of the lantern, and then I'm going to be putting the fabric around it. It costs 2,000 dong to make it, and it'll last about 1 hour. And then it should fold up perfectly to fit in my backpack and make it all the way home. Making a lantern is by far one of the most popular activities in Hoi An, and I love that at the end you have a personalized souvenir to take home. I really recommend the workshop with Lynn because she was super lovely and patiently talks everyone through the steps. Once the shape and silk were chosen, it was time to start gluing on the fabric. It's really important that you pull the fabric super tight. Once everything was glued, it was time to cut off the excess fabric and apply the finishing touches. Last but not least, you get to choose which color tassel you want, and then they fold it up for you to take home. I am so happy with my lantern. I think it turned out very beautifully. And now I'm walking through the shopping streets. It's very busy because it's a Sunday and there's a lot of Asian tourists as well. Whilst shopping, you really need to haggle here. So I was looking at some pants because I love long flowy pants. One shop was selling them for 130 each. And then the second shop I went into, she was asking almost 1,000 for two. So I told her I found pretty much the same thing for 130. And she was like, yeah, but these are much better quality. And she did show me a few different styles that indeed were of a lesser quality, but eventually I did make her go down until 150 each. So yeah, I think there's a very big difference between the price that something actually is and the one they are trying to sell it for. But yeah, if you know that, then you know what to do. I have decided to go on a free walking tour through the old town of Hoi An. So I'm just want to know more about these old buildings that are around here and get some extra information about the city itself because, yeah, it seems like a really great place to do so. You must start with buying the Hoi An Old Town entrance ticket. This ticket allows you to explore Hoi An's Old Town and its numerous well-maintained UNESCO World Heritage buildings. We started in the Japanese part of town where we learned all about the Japanese and trade history of the city. Unfortunately, the Japanese bridge was being renovated, but this is one of the main sites in the city. On the other side of the bridge, you arrive in the Chinese part of town. Here we visited some of the old Chinatown, where we saw how the white rose dumplings are made, a Hoi An classic. We were pointed out the architectural features that are typical for the city, which perhaps I wouldn't otherwise have noticed. Our last historical site was the Hoi Quang Phuc Kien Temple. I know that I have definitely butchered a lot of these Vietnamese names. I really apologize. But this is another building of the Chinese community. An intriguing thing here are the big incense spirals that burn up to 1 month to have a bigger chance of the family's wish coming true. We finally headed to the Hoi An Traditional Art Performance House to witness a traditional game of bingo and a beautiful cultural performance. As we exited the theater, the water had gotten so high. Our final stop of the day was the wet market. Here we were shown some local produce and products. We even got to try some. walking tour was so good. We spent 3 hours just going through the city, seeing all the different buildings that you can visit around here. We got a lot of explanations. We even saw some kind of theater show and a demonstration of the local bingo. It was so fascinating, even though I was so tired after a night out and then such a full day, but it was well worth it. I highly recommend this tour. I'll link it in the description below. And we ended at the market. They called it the wet market and I didn't get it. It's on land. Why is it the wet market? But today, because of the rain that's been like coming from upstream, and also it has rained so much yesterday, but especially today, and the streets are flooded. The market is along the side of the river, and obviously the river floods, so then it's the wet market. And it all makes sense now. I was so fascinated at how the locals adapt to their city flooding all the time. At the waterline, all the scooters would be parked and the locals would have to brave the water to reach their house or shop. It was so surreal to see how the shops and street vendors would simply move their business to where it was accessible, because all the food stalls are otherwise located across the river. If you like the streets already during the day, then you are in for a treat once the sun has set and the streets are lit up by thousands of lanterns. This makes Hoi An by far the most picturesque place in Vietnam for me. The city is also the most popular place in the world to get tailor-made clothes because it is so affordable, which is why there is a tailor on every corner. When the river is calm and accessible, you can go on a boat ride or choose to have dinner at one of the many waterside terraces. It is now the next day, and today we are going on one of the best half-day tours in Hoi An. We will start with a visit to the local market where we will buy all the ingredients we need for our cooking class, and we are also going on a ride in the basket boats. As we arrived at the market, prepared for the rain, we each got a basket to put the fresh produce in as we were buying it. After lots of information about the local products and acquiring all we needed for the cooking class, we headed to the coconut village in the Nipa palm forest. We boarded our basket boat in Paris and set off with our amazing guide. The best news of all is that it stopped raining just in time. The Vietnamese people are great business people, so if you want, you can pay extra to be spinned around or throw out a traditional fishing net. We then arrived at our cooking class, where we were first taught how to make fresh rice paper from scratch.
So now I show you one first, and then if you want to try, you can do that by yourself later. You put everything now, quickly, everything now, and then 1, 2, 3 come. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, done.
At home, everywhere.
We then headed to our preparation station. I did this tour with Cuckoo's Nest Hostel and had an amazing experience, much better than some friends of mine. We prepared 4 different dishes and 2 different dips. Vietnamese summer rolls with a peanut hoisin sauce, which is one of my favorite classics, banh xeo, the sizzling Vietnamese crepe with a sweet chili sauce, southern beef dry noodles, which required some very fiery techniques.
Okay. Big circle. Yeah, that's true. Good.
And a Hanoi-style rice noodle soup with beef, also known as pho. Once again, I have to say that our chef was amazing at explaining what each ingredient added to the dishes. I could choose between the morning and the afternoon one, but I chose the morning because they were predicting quite a lot of rain, but luckily it cleared up and we didn't get soaking wet in the boats. I really enjoyed the cooking class. There was certain techniques involved, and I always love that. I love when it's not just chopping things up and putting them in a pan, but like you really need to use some skills. The food was so delicious as well. I definitely will be recreating some of that back home, which I'm guessing my family will be very happy about. We did get the recipe book as usual. So that is now my third Asian cooking class. I've done one in Thailand, one in Laos, and one here. And I also enjoyed the one in Laos as much, but I didn't enjoy the one in Thailand as much. This was definitely another really good one.
Wow, that looks good. That does look good. Look at the presentation. Look at that.
We just live here now. Aside from the best cooking class, it's home to incredible restaurants. Great Western brunch spots are Buttercup by Rosie's and Finn. The banh mi queen apparently has the best banh mi in Hoi An, or even Vietnam. And although it was great, especially very meaty and with not that many veggies, the actual local favorite banh mi you can find at Phi. This one even has avocado on it. It was so yummy, but honestly, I haven't had a single disappointing banh mi in Hoi An. Even the street vendors made me the perfect midnight snack when going out. We also tried the khao lao and white rose dumplings at Khao Lao, Bali. Both are traditional dishes from Hoi An. If you want more local food, then head to the most popular restaurant called Morning Glory. Here you can try all the best food. Of course, I had to go for the banzeo as my friends enjoyed some other bangers. For the night market, you will have to cross the river to the small island called An Hoi. I had many Vietnamese rice paper pizzas here, even multiple a night. I'm really excited to try this Vietnamese pizza that has lots of different kinds of protein inside and it is crispy on the outside. She just heated it up with some spicy sauce inside. My friend had it yesterday and I've been craving it ever since. At Few's hostel, we took advantage of the free beer hour before heading to An Hoi Island to bar crawl. You will undoubtedly be approached by the promoters as soon as you set foot on the night market. They all have similar deals going depending on how much you buy. The places that everyone eventually ends up at are Why Not and Tiger Tiger. At the latter, we even got escorted to the bar with an umbrella, ending the night with more street food, of course. On my last day, I had some time left and instead of going to the pottery village nearby, I headed to Jimmy's Jewellery. Here, a friend and I got custom silver rings. Make sure to leave time for him to make necessary adjustments or custom pieces, so don't leave it to your last day. If you want to attend the Bamboo Circus show, then reserve good seats quite a bit of time in advance. And if you feel like heading out of the city if the weather permits it, which wasn't the case for me, then head to the Marble Mountain and Bana Hills near Da Nang or the Mai Son Temple complex. I stayed at a beautiful smaller hostel called Snapstay and then moved to Few's, which is more social and had a free beach shuttle, but pretty shitty rooms. That is it for the Hoi An video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't want to miss any of the upcoming videos. So I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!